welcome to the Owl About Yarn podcast. It has been such a long time since I last recorded a podcast on my own, so you're going to have to bear with me if I forget how this goes a little bit. I'm Jenny, and I'm also known as Owl About Yarn everywhere. You can find me on Etsy, where I sell wool and project bags and stitch markers and such like. You can also find me putting pictures fairly regularly on Instagram. And I've got a Ravelry group, and it'd be lovely if you'd come and join me for a chat in there. So, because it's been such a long time since I podcasted, and because when you get out of the habit of podcasting it's really hard to get back into it again, I thought, what if I try something different and do a sort of a vlog and see if that gets me back in the habit again. So this weekend I'll be going to Narberth in Pembrokeshire for the West Wales Wool Show. I went last year for the first time and it was a lovely, lovely show. Really busy, much busier than I anticipated for a one-day show, and right over in Pembrokeshire as well. And so I'm getting ready for that, and I thought I'd take you along with me. So today I've got wool. You can see my last bits of fibre and yarn on the Aera. I actually recorded an Instagram live about half an hour ago, and the sky was grey as an HB pencil, and just as I finished recording it, it started to rain and I had to whiz the yarn back in really quickly. But now, of course, Welsh weather being as it is, it's sunny, it's beautiful. I'm going to swap arms because my arm's getting sore. So the wool's come back out again. It's just so unpredictable, you never know what's going on. But anyway, I thought I'd start off by recording a little bit in my garden, so excuse how scruffy it is, I really need to sort it out before the winter. And just tell you what I've been doing. So the last few days I've been dyeing a lot of fibre, had some beautiful merino silk tops delivered from John Arbon earlier in the week. So I've been dyeing them up quickly so that they'd be ready to take with me to Pembrokeshire on Saturday. I had some yarn left that I wanted to finish off, and I've been making some bats. So I've been quite focused on the fibre side of it this time actually, but I think that's because the fibre is kind of running down, my stock's running down a little bit, and I wanted to lift up the levels a little bit again. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. And then today I haven't got anything else to dye now, because tomorrow is when I'll be packing up all my boxes. I don't even think that this behind me will dry in time, but we can give it a go, you never know. It's quite warm in the sunshine for October as well, so I might be lucky. But also today I'm going to be making a cake, because I'm going to Zoe's house tomorrow, who's Zoe of the Pins and Needles podcast, if you don't already know. And we're going to be recording our next Knitty Retreat podcast, which will be telling you about something that we think you'll like to get involved with. Oh, I can tell you because this isn't going out until after that. So we're going to be telling you about the first podcast that we're knit along, that we're going to be running, themed on our 4 tutors, and the first tutor is going to be Anakin Alice. So if you want to join in with that, go and find the Knitty Retreat podcast and give it a watch. Talking of the Knitty Retreat, so since the last time I talked to you, we've done all of the organising, all of the revealing, and we've sold all of the tickets for our very first knitting retreat. Zoe and I are beyond flabbergasted. We watched the bookings coming in on Saturday, and there weren't words. We were just texting each other going, look at this, another one, oh my god, that's 25 in an hour, what is going on? So we had 50 places, they all sold out in 21 hours, and we've got a waiting list now, a considerable waiting list. So thank you so much for all of your support, and thank you so much for all of you who've signed up to come. We're really looking forward to seeing you next year, and we're hoping that we can make it a really fun weekend and something that you want to do again and again. So yeah, I'm going to make a cake because I decided that we should celebrate. I was getting a little bit stressed out earlier in the week, thinking about admin that needed to be done and the planning for the retreat. And then yesterday, my lovely online friend Tara Swiger, whose business community I'm in, we have a check-in on a Wednesday in her business community, and I went and I said to her, oh, I'm so overwhelmed and there's just too much going on, I can't take it all in and I'm getting stressed out about it, and I should be so happy and thrilled, and I am happy and so grateful to everybody who supported me and Zoe, but it's huge, and she helped me to see that I could actually just take a step back and enjoy the achievement that we've made by selling out all of these places and by doing enough marketing and enough planning to make it sound like an attractive proposition. So we were going to do loads of admin work tomorrow, and I just sent Zoe a message and I said, right, let's do the podcast and then let's just eat cake and knit and enjoy just for 5 minutes. Let's take a minute to reflect and enjoy the process rather than rushing through it all. And she thought that was a brilliant idea, so I'm going to go and make a cake and take that with me tomorrow, because you know us, our business meetings always have to involve cake. So yeah, that's the first job on my to-do list for the rest of the morning. Start off my cake. So, I'm back again. I've made most of the cake, and it's sitting at home, it's cooling, and it's I've done the meringue to go in the middle, so I'll show you a picture when it's all done, because hopefully it'll work out and it'll be really, really nice, a nice celebratory cake. But right now I'm sat outside a local high school because I have to go in a little bit and learn how to be a school governor. I think it's one of those things where, you know, they say if you want something done, you ask somebody busy to do it. So I was approached in the summer and asked if I'd ever considered standing to be a school governor in my daughter's primary school. And I seem to be incapable of saying no. So I've been roped into that. And I have no idea what I'm doing as a school governor. But I have an induction this evening, and I'm hoping that that will make things make a bit more sense. But it seems like there's another event going on in the high school, because it's really, really busy and there are loads of kids over there as well. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It's definitely in this school though. Anyway, I thought I'd take the opportunity to show you one of my works in progress. I am knitting a Weasley sweater by Alison Hansel for my oldest son Jack, and this is entirely Zoe's fault, because she knit one for her youngest son, her younger son Max, her youngest child. And my oldest child, my 16-year-old who's 3 inches taller than me, saw it and said, well, I need one of them. And I can't say no. So I've cast it on. I have one of the giant balls, it is that big, one of the giant balls of Hayfield Bonus Aran, and I think I'm using 4mm needles, but I'll have to check on that. It's on my Ravelry project page anyway. And I don't know why the doohickeys there, but it's there, and there's not really a lot to look at. I've done the ribbing and I've started on the stocking stitch. Like Zoe did with her jumper that she made for Max, I'm planning on Swiss darning his initial in afterwards, because that's so much less painful than doing it all in intarsia. That was never going to happen. And also I've converted it to knit in the round up as far as the armhole divide anyway, because I don't like sewing things together, so it's just in one piece. And yeah, so I'll keep you posted on progress for that. It's intended to be finished for him by Christmas, but I'm aiming for the end of November, well, middle to end of November, but because it's stocking stitch and because it's Aran, it's a reasonably quick knit, so hopefully there'll be some quick progress on that. But it is supposed to be quite a baggy jumper. I think it's going to be a baggy jumper, but do you know, it's really hard when it's on the needles because the stitches are all shrunk in a bit. So until I divide for the armholes and maybe put the back stitches on some waste yarn or something, and I can really see how big it is, then I'll know how wide it's going to be. But he's a really skinny rail of a thing, just a few inches taller than me, so it's not so much the width as the length that's going to take the time. And then I've got to work out exactly where the J for Jack is going to go in the Swiss darning, but hopefully that won't be too painful. Anyway, I'd better go into school. Wish me luck. I don't think it's going to be the sort of environment where knitting will be encouraged. I brought that just in case I was here really early and had lots of time to sit in the car. However, I do have pen and paper, and I can always doodle or draw up pattern ideas or make to-do lists. So many ideas. Anyway, I'll talk to you again soon. There we go. Fabulous.
Fabulous.
So I'm here at Shea Pins and Needles.
Pins and Needles HQ.
And we are having our podcasting and knitting and cake eating day, celebrating the success of the retreat bookings last weekend, which was crazy mad.
It was unbelievable. I just hit refresh on my computer non-stop and just squealed.
Yeah, I was hitting refresh on my phone because I was at a 3-year-old's birthday party. Which very badly timed.
It was actually, yeah.
But it was one of these last minute things I got invited to, and I'm friendly with the mum and I'm friendly with the little girls.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Erin's best friend's little sister, one of those convoluted relationships. But it was a lovely party, so I'm glad I went, but I was sort of holding my phone down and going refresh.
I was messaging you updates. We've got another 4.
Yeah. Now I'm sure that you already watch those podcasts, but just in case you don't, this is the beautiful Zoe of the Pins and Needles podcast, my best friend, and my booth assistant, to use the more polite term.
Glamorous assistant. I am the Debbie McGee of the Owl About Yarn world.
Yes.
Only twice the size of Ginger. It's true. She's terribly thin.
Yeah, I'm not even going to get into an argument here about that. But I will say that Zoe's height is an advantage when choosing who to take with me to shows.
Yeah, pretty much. I do everything above 5 foot level.
Yeah, so, and also you cover the shoplifters from above and I cover from below. Yeah. So it works really well.
It does.
But what else was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. Well, I was going to talk about... Oh, yes, so we've just recorded our retreat podcast.
Yes.
The second episode of the Knit Tea podcast, where we're talking about the cowl that I mentioned yesterday for Anakin Alice patterns. So if you're interested in joining in with that, please go and have a look at our Ravelry group, watch the other podcast, and we'd love to have you join in, even if you're not coming to the retreat. It'd just be fun to join in. We've got a discount code.
We do have a discount code.
Patterns.
Very generous of Anakin.
Oh, it was so nice of her. She's been really supportive.
Yeah.
So, and there'll be prizes, even if you're not coming to the retreat. So you can maybe feel a little bit better if you're missing out and you're sad about missing out.
You can join in with us anyway.
Yeah. It'll all be good. Well, anyway. We're sitting and knitting, and shortly it will be cake time, because I did finish that cake I was telling you about yesterday.
Oh, that's really good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure about the little meringues on the top.
The little meringues on the top totally make it.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
I did a lemon meringue cake, and Zoe was very confused when I was messaging her about it yesterday, saying, "Don't you mean lemon meringue pie?" And no, lemon meringue cake. Although I did cheat, I didn't make the lemon curd.
The last time I made some, it went runny.
Oh.
I've only made it twice. The first time was perfect. The second time it was sauce. fine. You just put it over vanilla ice cream and it's nice. But it was not curd. It didn't curd.
No, well I should have done because I had egg yolks left over after I made my meringues, but I was too lazy.
We were very busy. Very busy.
Yeah, I suppose.
Always busy.
Oh, and I did my governor training that I told you about.
Yes.
That was fascinating. So, we have a governor club. Zoe's a school governor as well, separate school, different school. But, so she's been giving me some advice today about what to look at and why not to panic. Things like this. It's just a whole different world to
It's
go
a lot
into,
to take
so,
in. It's a lot to take in.
But yeah. And I'm working on the jumper I showed you yesterday. I moved my progress keeper. So I've been knitting away. I've only done an inch or so
I like
today.
that. What's that from?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me.
Oh. Sorry.
I don't remember.
It looks like a dragon's egg.
It is a dragon's egg. I think early days of the podcast, somebody I was following made some. No, she made some and she was selling them. And I bought a set. And I sent at least one of them to Marie, Purple Snowdrop.
Okay.
Hi Marie. And I kept some for myself because I think they're really clever and really intricate. Yeah, sorry, not even showing you, we're just chatting amongst ourselves. Little dragon egg progress keeper. So today is my stocking stitch day and I'll work on this. Tomorrow I'll be at West Wales Wool Show. Sunday I'm hoping to chill out a bit and I'm going to work on my Lin Ho sweater, which I haven't shown you yet. I'll show you that after West Wales Wool Show. But it's growing. I weighed it yesterday. I've got 170 grams of yarn in it now.
Oh,
so yeah, I'm not far off.
That's
the bottom
nearly
of the body.
two skeins.
Yeah.
How long are the sleeves?
Long.
Oh, they're full sleeves.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've still got 3 skeins left, so
Okay.
yeah.
Fingering weight sweaters are a serious undertaking.
Yes. But it is mainly stocking stitch. I don't know if you've seen the Joji Locatelli pattern, Lin Ho, and it has a lace border, lace panel. That's the word. Thank you. Lace panel down the middle, and the rest of it's stocking stitch. So it's reasonably mindless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going well in the evenings because I can watch the TV and then just flick over for 21 stitches and follow the pattern, and then.
Are you hoping to get that finished for Nottingham?
I am.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because it's an indoor event.
Is there matching lace down the sleeves, or are the sleeves just
No,
stitched?
the sleeves are plain.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can motor through that.
2 at a time, the sleeves, and...
Eh? No. Eh?
No?
What?
Do it 2 at a time.
No, well, ooh. I've not done that before.
Well, it's the same as doing 1, you just then do it again.
Yeah, I suppose that would make sense because then they'd be the same length. Keeper for the brains.
Yeah. I'm the brains, she's the beauty.
Anyway, yeah, so that's another job done. The podcast recorded.
I have to make soup now. I keep meaning to make soup before she arrives, and I was working yesterday, and then we had to go and take my son to an open evening in the evening, and by the time we got back, I didn't make soup.
Oh, this week has just been so busy for both of us, though,
Yeah.
between work and school and...
Yeah. I think actually going to Nottingham might be a break.
I do. I have big plans, because we've rented an Airbnb. I have big plans for looking up all the Deliveroo options for dinner, for a treat.
Can we do takeaway?
Yeah.
That's posh.
Yeah. So our bed picnic will be upgraded.
Yes. Ooh, bed picnic.
But yeah, because it's right near the centre of Nottingham, so we should definitely be within reach of all of the nice restaurants doing Deliveroo and Uber Eats and...
What sort of thing do you fancy?
Oh, I don't know. Anything.
Anything that we haven't cooked and had to schlep up a motorway in a Tupperware container.
Yes, anything that's hot, posh.
Big time.
And I can sit and eat in bed with a fork.
Okay. Well,
What about you?
Not pizza then, if not if you want to use a fork.
Oh, well, I don't have to use a fork. Fork
Okay.
maximum. We could go pizza.
No.
We could go
I like
Italian.
pizza, it's not my favourite.
Chinese.
Chinese.
I haven't had a Chinese for ages.
I love Chinese.
Maybe it'll be a Chinese.
I like curry, but I can, well, like that curry you had that Rob made, that was nice. So I sort of feel like you can make your own curry quite well. I can't make my own Chinese.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And you don't get, even like the supermarket, if you have the microwave meals, they're horrible.
I've never tried those.
They're horrible, don't they?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Save me a fiver.
Yeah. Who do we know in Nottingham? Do we know? Oh,
Jill!
Do you have any
Hi,
Chinese takeaway recommendations? Let me know.
Yeah, and Tracy.
Is she in
Thread
Nottingham?
Make.
I thought she was Derbyshire. Is she Nottingham, is she?
She's Nottingham.
Oh. Cool. Nottingham takeaway recommendations, please, that
Yeah.
deliver to the park. We're going to be staying in the park.
What's the...
It's an area
Oh, I was going to say, I'm not sleeping in the park.
on a bench.
I'm going to come
I'm
and
not
work
shelling
your
out
stand. The
accommodation.
least I want is my own cardboard box.
So you've got the centre of Nottingham. You've got a castle, which is on a big hill.
That's where the sheriff lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know one of my ancestors was Sheriff of Nottingham?
Really?
Not the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Just A.
A Sheriff of Nottingham.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the really evil one, hopefully. And then next to the castle, you have the park, which is the park.
Okay.
You know? And that's where I lived when I was born.
Ah, yeah, because we've got to go and find your old street, haven't we?
Yes, I moved when I was 2. So I don't have that many memories of Hamilton Drive.
No.
But we're staying somewhere near there, in
Okay.
that same area. So I need to go and stare at my house that I lived in for the first 2 years of my life.
It's not going to be creepy at all.
No. Oh, I'm just thinking, I really hope that there isn't a knitter living in it, because what if somebody's come to the yarn show and then they see us hanging around outside their house later on, staring at them through the windows?
Going to steal their stash. Oh, no, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So it should be, I'm looking forward to that already now.
Yeah, Chinese takeaway.
In bed. Bed picnic. A la Morecambe and Wise type podcast, maybe.
Did they?
They used to do all the Morecambe and Wise used to do their shows sitting in bed, didn't they?
Oh, I don't
The
remember
thing.
that. I remember
Not all the shows.
Father Ted. They used to have their scenes.
Yeah. No, Morecambe and Wise did it as well.
Oh,
We used
okay.
to watch Morecambe and Wise loads when I was little.
We could do the silly...
And sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
We have
not.
been asked to record a podcast whilst enjoying a bed picnic.
Have we? Did we have
Yeah,
a special request?
we did.
Okay. That's inappropriate. Please stop.
I don't remember. It was somebody who watched your podcast. It was in the comments.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to see the bed picnic and they wanted to join in, I think, really. It was
Oh,
envy.
Oh,
probably.
okay.
Yeah, rather than
I haven't got
anything
to
sinister.
tell my
or
husband.
anything.
No.
But it's not like we wear lacy negligees when we go
No,
away or anything.
It's flannel from the chin to our toes.
Although my pyjamas usually feature Winnie the Pooh in some form.
Yeah. You've got your owl ones. They're quite smart.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it comes to something when you have to plan which pyjamas you take in with you because it's going to be on a podcast.
Well, mine are really ratty. I do
Yeah.
you remember I started sewing some and then
Yeah.
spoiled it, so I might have to
Are
improvise.
you not going to pick up that project again?
Well, they were summer pyjamas. They were thin cotton ones, and it was a short-sleeved job. So I don't know. My Sojo has fled.
You did make those pyjamas, like the vest top and shorts.
Yes,
Before
I
one
feel
to
those are a
last year.
little scanty though.
Do you not want to share those on a podcast?
Not on the internet. My mum watches. Oh, however, we could start a Patreon thing, and
Yes.
Merino Patreon members get to see me in my scanty pyjamas, or indeed not. You could pay to not watch that version.
I think this is a whole other level of podcasting that we're
Yeah,
heading
this
towards
is an
now.
X-rated. It's knitting in my pyjamas. This is why she hasn't asked me on before. Just going to lower the tone.
Oh, it's like a foot fetish.
I'll be
knitting
quiet
in,
now.
in pyjamas fetish. Yeah. Family friendly podcast.
Yeah.
My daughter watches.
Does she?
Yeah.
I'll send her home with some cake. I understand why you wanted some. We won't eat it all.
Yeah. I'll show you a picture of the cake, possibly before we eat half of it. But
Yeah.
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 I had to trim a bit off and it was edible and I haven't died. So.
Oh, okay. It's reassuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poison testing. So is it cake o'clock now?
Well, it's 12:15. We could eat the
There
cake
we go.
while we're waiting for the soup to cook.
That sounds good to me. It is
Done.
our day of Jubilee after all.
It is.
Right then. I will talk to you later on, possibly in the morning on my way to the wool show. I'm taking my oldest minion.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Child labour made this country great.
Yeah, he's not up to your height standards yet, but he's taller than me, which is an improvement.
Yeah, take a step.
I've only got short grid wall.
Okay.
Don't need a step.
Fine.
It's fine. It's all good. Anyway, I'm going to go and eat cake. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Good morning. It's just gone 5 o'clock on Saturday and I've been up more than an hour already. I couldn't sleep. It's going to be a really long day. However, I have managed to get a bonus cup of tea and I'm just about to go and pack up my breakfast ready to eat on the road, and then I'll pack the car. I think Jack will be up soon. He's coming with me today. And then we'll head off. Talk to you in a bit. Good morning. We're all set up. Oh, I've just noticed one more thing I've got to do. I've got to put Zoe's pattern and my kits up. Look, I've got my sample sock to put up. That way around. For the Beach Hut socks kit. So I'll do that after. But I've just set up the rest of my stall and I thought I'd show you around. So I've got some stitch markers and some little earrings that my son has been putting out for me. And then we move on to project bags, mini skeins. Getting a little bit scarce in there. I might have to dye up some more soon because they seem to be quite popular. Just a teeny tiny bit of self-striping and gradient dyed yarn, and then onto the main body of the yarns. So I didn't bring shelves to put on the tables. I usually bring shelves to put on the tables, but I didn't get them down last night and it was really noisy. And my office is next door to Erin's bedroom, so I couldn't go and get them this morning. So I'm just having to manage with the boxes instead. These are the yarns I've been putting on Instagram quite a lot, the Tibetan owl. And they are merino, silk and yak. I'm going to be knitting an Anakin Alice pattern in one of those soon. And then I've got my stitch marker board, well, progress keeper board. They're usually quite popular as well. It's just a little thing, isn't it, for a memento then. And my new merino and silk fibre that you saw drying the other day, it all dried in time. My bargain bin. Oh, I need to do a sign for that as well. And that's my end of range Aran weight yarns, and they'll all be on the website, the ones I bring home. And then the rest of my fibre. So down here, that's the merino shelf. This is Polworth and Blueface Leicester. And then these are my bats. And you can just see some spares behind, look, I've put up there. More bats at the top. And some spindle bags hanging on the edge. And just a handful of spindles in case any new spinners come in and want to grab themselves a little kit. And that's the thing. I've got my oldest son with me, but he's dodging the camera. I'll try and get a picture later with him. I'll get a picture with you later. They can see how handsome you are then. So, let me show you the room. People are still setting up, so I won't walk around a lot. You've got mostly yarn, but then there's plenty of fibre. Look next door to me, all the bats on there. All the lovely colours. I'll have to investigate those later. And then we've got some handmade things. Go on, there's mine. That's a lovely stall, isn't it? All the natural colours. And there's my son. And over there you've got Rivernits. They're still setting up, and she's Ivory Tinkler on Ravelry, and there's Baby Tinkler. And look, there's a wall of mini skeins. And I can sit and look at that all day. I'll take you for a walk around later on if I've got time. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. So that was a really, really busy day at West Wales Wool Show. We got there about 10 to 8, so we were actually early, not often early, so I enjoyed that. And we got in, we got set up, but we were actually set up early as well. Zoe would have been so proud of me if she was there. And then it was fairly steadily busy all day. One thing I will say about the Plas Hyfryd Hotel, which is where our stall was today, was that they look after the stall holders tremendously well. And I think it's because the manager or the duty manager who was there, and he's the same one who was there last year from what I remember, has experience of working these sort of all-day fairs. He was talking about working wedding fairs where you don't get a chance to go and get a drink or a bite to eat or anything. So they did send people round a couple of times asking if we wanted a cup of tea brought to the stall, or and they brought a menu round for our lunches and gave us a nice choice of things to eat. So we had our lunch delivered to our stall as well. I could totally get used to that. And it wasn't too bad a price either for a decent meal. It was really good. It was a pleasant location, and all the people going around were very friendly. It's always very gratifying when you have people coming around to the store and saying, oh, I love what you do with the colours and things like that, because you know you're on the right track. Because even if you make sales online, you don't know how many people walk up, or not walk up, but surf up on the internet to your shop and then look at your stuff and go, ugh, oh no, and leave, because obviously you're not going to know that. So it's nice to get reactions and be able to watch people and see what their reactions are to your products. And on the whole, they were really positive. I did have one skein which is called October Stroll, which is inspired by the colours of the trees at the moment, and I was told that was too autumnal. I was like, well, okay. Anyway, the customer's always right, so I smiled and nodded and thought about cake. Yeah, and it was a good day. Saw Ellie. Hi Ellie. She had brought William along, and she brought cake for me and Jack as well. Jack had a properly cringe-worthy moment when a lady thought that he was my boyfriend, not my oldest son. She said that I must have been a child when I had him, and refused to believe that I'm the age that I am, and thought that my 16-year-old son was my boyfriend. And the cringing, I wish you could have seen the cringing. It was fantastic. He doesn't want to be on the podcast, so he's cringing over to the other side of the car at the moment. Yeah, so that was a highlight. Being told I'm not old enough to have a 16-year-old son. I'll take that any day, who wouldn't? And yeah, I got to see the lovely Becky of Rivernits and her little boy and her husband, and we got a photo together, so I'll put that in afterwards. And just for you, Zoe, well, not just for you, we stopped at Pont Abraham Services, which wasn't just for you, it was because we needed to stop. We needed a sugar injection, and we needed to use the facilities. But just for you, Zoe, I will review the toilet facilities at Pont Abraham Services on the M4. They weren't great. I think if I was going to give it a mark out of 10, it would probably hover around the 4 out of 10. It wasn't particularly clean. The seat was falling off, which is never good. there were certain marks on the toilet walls, shall we say, in the cubicles of a suspicious colour. And then taps were those ones where you push them down to get them going, and they turn off as soon as you let go. Well, how are you supposed to get both hands under the tap if you're pushing the tap down and then sticking your hands under and they stop straight away? Very disappointing. So those bathroom facilities get a 4, and really that's just because I'm a nice person, and I'd probably give them a 4 just if I was able to use them. They weren't great. However, there is a Costa in there, and Costa do nice hot chocolate, so that raises the level of Pontabram services a little bit. So we've got our sugar injection in the form of hot chocolate for the rest of the journey home. Hopefully we'll be home before Erin goes to bed, so we both get to say goodnight to her. And then tomorrow will be a day of rest, as it should be on a Sunday. I might manage to do a stock take and get the shop up, or I might be asleep all day, because did I mention I was up at 4 this morning? Yes, I did, I told you. 4 o'clock this morning, and it's now 6:30, so I've already been up 14.5 hours. I've driven about 160 miles, and I've had a stall running for many of those hours as well. Yeah. All in all, I really enjoyed the West Wales Wool Show again. It was just as good as it was last year. I'd really recommend it to any of you who are able to get to Pembrokeshire in October. It's a really nice show. And I look forward to going again next year. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night here and say goodbye to you now. And I will talk to you soon on the next episode of the Owl About Yarn podcast. Thank you for watching. Come and join us in the Ravelry group, and follow me on Instagram, and sign up to my email newsletter if you want to be kept in touch with all the things that are going on in the Owl About Yarn world. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for watching my podcast. You can find me pretty much anywhere online as owlaboutyarn.com. I'd love it if you would give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future episodes of the podcast. See you soon!